Hey everyone, Happy New Year, first and foremost, because I think it's the first live video that I've done in 2019, which is awesome. The other thing is I look lovely right now, which I'm super stoked about. I just got back from the gym, and to be honest with you, I wanted to do the video while these thoughts were fresh in my mind before I got in the shower for the night, so that's just the truth. But I wanted to talk to you guys about when the enemy steals from us, because this has been something that has been on my heart for the past 3 days. And this morning I had a life-changing experience with Jesus about it, and I feel like there's a lot of people out there who are feeling the exact same thing. And here's what it comes down to. I feel like there are a lot of people who feel like the enemy has taken things from them. And if I get passionate in this one, just let me be passionate, because I'm super passionate about this right now. I'm super fired up. But I feel like there are a lot of people who feel like the enemy has stolen things from them. And that could be a variety of things. It could be that you feel like the enemy has stolen your joy. Maybe he's stolen your purpose, or your finances, or your car, or your marriage, or your relationships, or a job opportunity. There are a million things that it could be for you. But I feel like in this season, the enemy has been so specific to go after people's things, their relationships, their marriages, their finances, their health, their joy, their expectation for a season or a holiday or whatever it is. And the scriptures say that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But often I don't know if we really understand what it means to be stolen from. And for my own personal life, first of all, if you don't know who I am, I'm Laura Dudek. I'm a Bible study author, Christian speaker, and I love doing live videos to encourage you to follow Jesus. But anyways, that's just who I am, right? But lately, for the past couple of days, I've been struggling with this feeling of having something stolen from me. And it wasn't anything tangible. It wasn't anything monetary. It was an idea and a concept. And it's been really hard to wrestle with it, and I've really had to take it before Jesus. It's been super hard for me. And it started last night when I was at the gym, and because all breakthrough for me pretty much happens at the gym. It starts there. And I was at the gym, and I was on the elliptical. And I was just talking to the Lord about it, of Lord, this just sucks. Can we just say that? This just sucks. I feel like this has been ripped from me, and I just feel gutted about it. And as I'm talking with him on the elliptical, and I'm listening to Stephanie Gretzinger, who is just amazing, and she just makes me cry every single time she leads worship. And so I'm on the elliptical, and I'm just talking to Jesus about it, and I feel like the Lord was just talking to me about grieving the loss. And when we think about healing and we think about specifically spiritual warfare, a lot of times I don't know if we connect that to a grief process. I don't know if we allow ourselves to feel heartbreak. And when it comes to having something stolen from us, whether it's your joy or a relationship or a family member or whatever that is, the loss of expectation is still loss. There's still something that has been ripped from our grasp. There's something that has been taken from us without our permission. And in that moment, we just need to allow ourselves to cry, allow ourselves to feel the heartbreak, to be there and just not make ourselves or force ourselves to be in a healing process or so much further in our healing process than we actually are. And so on the elliptical, in front of my whole gym pretty much, and in front of all the people who walk by, we have huge windows right there, I just started crying. And I was like, Lord, I'm just going to embrace the fact that my heart is broken over this. My heart is just broken. And it just sucks. I don't have to be anywhere else in that moment. I don't have to be any more healed. I don't have to forgive in that moment. I can just fully own the fact that it just stinks because it was still taken. And maybe for you tonight, that's just where you are, where the enemy took something from you. And you just need to cry about it. You just need to have that moment with Jesus where you understand him as a compassionate father who lets you cry in his shoulder, who lets you have a moment of darling, this just really stinks. And Satan is a jerk. He's just a jerk. And so I started that process last night. And it was interesting how much I actually followed the grief process, where you have, I think it's is it grief or sorrow, and then anger, and then you try to fight it, and all those things. Conversations with Jesus on the Elliptical by Lauren Dudek. Yes, title of my next book. Totally. And then, so it was interesting because I actually started to go to the cable machine, which is, you know, where I just like go to town, right, with my Kelly Clarkson in my earbuds at that point because I needed a little bit of energy. I didn't want to just cry the entire time. And then I started working through anger, and I was just frustrated, and I was just taking it out with Jesus of like, I can just be mad. I can just be mad at the injustice of this. I can be mad at the fact that this is just not right. It's not the way that your kingdom works. This is opposite of your kingdom. This is chaotic. This is a thief of my joy. This is not peace-filled. This is not honoring. This is not anything that you stand for, Jesus. And I can be okay with being angry about it. So I had my moment. And then later that night, I started kind of going down this path mentally. Can we just be real? Can we please just be real? I started going down this path of like wanting to just give up, to be honest. And I was like, why am I even here? Like, why am I even doing what I'm doing? Like, if it's all going to be taken from me, what does it really matter, right? That's where the enemy always goes. And so I was processing this even this morning, my thoughts from last night. And it's interesting the fact that the enemy never just attacks on a surface level. He's never about just a singular punch. But he actually, as I was reflecting on it, it's like a pinch, like a nerve, right? When you think about, have you guys ever had a pinched nerve in your neck? Like that moment where you make like a sudden movement and all of a sudden like everything goes hot and you feel like your entire body is like shutting down. And it's like that. It's a singular pinch, maybe, but the intention is that it would literally numb you. It would steal something so much more. And thinking about what he initially stole from me, I feel, his intention was never just to take that. His intention was to wipe me out. His intention was to take my purpose. His intention was to take my future, to take my ideas, to take my hope in the things that God has for me. And so it started spiraling for me in one single pinch, right? That it was like a nerve that he touched and I just crumbled, right? And so the Lord and I were talking about it this morning. He was reminding me that the enemy is never just about a singular punch. He's always like a 1-2 punch. Like he wants to take you out. And so I would encourage you, as he steals things in our lives, because he will just do that, because that is who he is. He's just a jerk, right? Think about the layers, the complex layers that are below that. So he may have stolen something financially from you, and now you owe a lot of money, or he had like a medical bill, right, that set you over the edge. You just feel like our finances are in ruin right now. Don't let him get into your marriage. Don't let him get into your self-esteem. Don't let him get into your job. Don't let him get into the way you speak to your children. That is what he's going for, because he's never just about taking the finances. He's never about just taking your confidence. He's about taking the things in our lives that are kingdom. He's about taking the things that are the core of who we are, and he will stop it dead in its tracks. And so I would encourage you that when you notice the thing that he has stolen from you, don't let him take any more ground. Shut it down. Shut it down. Because he will let it flow all through your body like poison. Because he's never about just taking one thing. He wants it all. He wants to steal. He wants to kill. Kill. That means to the root. He is trying to take it out. And he wants to destroy. Nothing left. That is his intention. And that's why we have to be so vigilant to understand that first he steals. That's the start. Then he kills, and then he wipes it out. He destroys. Armor up, sister. Heck yes. Heck yes. I am praying. Spiritual warfare is crazy. Okay, so this other thing, I got it. I have to tell you guys this. Okay, so this morning we're just real. Okay, so I slept on the couch last night because I legit couldn't sleep, and all these thoughts racing through my mind, all of that. So I'm on a couch. I actually woke up like super early with Joshua, and I went right into worship because I knew I had to go into worship. I did not feel like it. I was not like, let's praise, whatever. I was like, can I sit here with my coffee and not say anything? Can I do that, Jesus? So I'm sitting there, and it literally took like 3 songs for me to start praying. And Jesus and I started having these conversations about what I was feeling, like this heartbreak again, and this anger and this frustration and all the roots of why I feel the way that I do and all these things. And he started talking to me about intimate truths about my life and things that I've believed. And the song, it was a new song actually by Bethel that came on, but it was interesting that, sorry, I just got really emotional. They actually had like the little boy Jackson, if you guys followed anything with Bethel, and one of the, I think it's like the CFO or the CEO, his son almost died last year, and they had like this miracle. So he was on it. They had this thing, and I'm like already bawling, you know, because I'm like, God, you're so good. Like, you really are so good. All of those things, right? And in that, Jonathan Helzer actually was leading worship, and he said, he quoted the song, what was it? You drown my fears in perfect love. And as I'm starting to sing, I start feeling like the Lord was like resuscitating my heart. And I could actually feel it physically. I could feel it. Like, and it took 3 songs for me to get to that point, to like resuscitate my heart again. And as he spoke those words, you drown my fears in perfect love, I was reminded of this. In the moments when we have things stolen from us, we don't feel like worshiping because we're heartbroken. We don't feel like giving back to the Lord because we feel like we have something that was violated, taken from us, ripped from us. We feel like we've been punched in the gut, like we've been gutted. And so sometimes we just have to force ourselves to be in worship and sit there and let it mull, let it resonate in our heart. Let it fill us up. And it may take 3, 4 songs. It may take 5 songs or 10 songs, but just be in it, because perfect love is only cast out when it's only drowned out when we put ourselves in the middle of the sea of love. And that's what I was thinking about in worship, where I was like, Lord, you knew that the fear that I had, the insecurities that I had, the things that I was the unbelief that I had could only be drowned out when I surrounded myself in your truth, which was worship. And it took a little bit, but you finally drowned it out when I let myself linger there for just a minute longer than I would, and past the feeling of like, well, I feel good today, you know? And I just sat there and felt the true love of God start casting out the fears that I had. And I started feeling him resuscitate my heart. And I feel like tonight, he's resuscitating you. And no matter what you feel like has been stolen from you, no matter what you are heartbroken about the loss, if you just sit in worship, if you feel it or not, God will meet you there. And he will drown out your fears with his perfect love. He will begin to start making your heart beat a little bit faster for the things of his kingdom. He will give you divine perspective to show you that you matter. You really do matter. Side note, need to say this. Guys, I just feel like there are so many people who need to know that they are seen. They are so seen by God. And I am reminded in these moments when I'm about to give up, how much people need to hear, other people need to hear, that they are so loved. And they are so seen, and what they do matters for the kingdom of God. And how amazing would it be? How amazing would it be if we were to fight through warfare enough? And part of our warfare would be to remind other people that God sees them. And that's what I did tonight. I messaged people that were on my heart for so long to tell them how much God loves them. And you know what it did in me? It started rising up something in me of like, enemy, you have messed with the wrong person. You have messed with the wrong kingdom warrior. You have messed with the wrong child of God, the wrong leader for women. Like, you have messed with the wrong person, and you don't win. You can't steal anything else. You can't take anything else, because I am a child of God. And it started like this anthem in my heart of reminding me, like, this is why I don't give up. This is why I don't give in. This is why I keep fighting the good fight. This is why I will continue to drown myself in worship, to know that there is something greater in this life that I am made to do. And you are too. You are too. You are not forgotten. It may have been stolen from you for a minute. You may not have that money in your bank account. You may not have had that perfect holiday where your mother apologized to you, or that relationship got restored. You may not have that. It may have been stolen from you, but it is long from being out of reach to be redeemed. It will so be redeemed, because that's just who God is. He's going to redeem it. And the things that I felt were stolen from me, I'm gonna fight for everything that God has for me. And I'm so excited to see what's next. And I just wanted to remind you guys of that tonight. It's just simple, right? Spiritual warfare 101. Yeah. I could literally go on because I am so fired up right now. But I just wanted to encourage you guys with that tonight. Embrace the heartbreak. Embrace loss. Because when the enemy steals, it's a violation in our lives. He took something from you that you never gave him permission to. You never gave him authority to do it, but he did it anyway. And we can embrace the grief of it. We can embrace the loss, mourn the loss, and then we can move on. And then we can be the warrior that we're made to be. Then we can stand up for the things of the kingdom. And we can still do that in grief. We can still do that in sorrow and in pain and in heartbreak. And often that is the key to being a light for other people, is being in that place and owning it and not being ashamed of it. So I love you guys so much. I hope this encouraged you, because that's where I'm at. And Jesus is good. He's so good. And Jesus has you, and he hasn't forgotten you, and you're amazing. So I would love if you would tag people in the comments, because there are a lot of people who are getting stolen, stuff stolen from them. So if you could think of someone, put them in the comments. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great night. I am for surely praying for you. Don't know if that's a word, that's a phrase, but I am definitely praying for you, and I truly mean that. And I love you guys so much. Happy New Year. It's gonna be a great year. By the way, if your year has been terrible so far, that's not a reflection of the rest of your year. He hasn't stolen the beginning of your year. He can't steal the end of your year, because it's all Jesus's year, right? Okay, that was the other thing on my heart to say. Okay, I love you guys so much. You're amazing. Hi, Nancy. Kayla. Hi, Kayla. Katie, I love you so much. Who else was the other one? I thought I saw a couple other people. But anyways, love you guys so much. I'm going to go eat some gummy bears, to be honest. That's my form of celebration slash grief. So I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.